Like it or not, America is moving towards a cashless society, and no company is cashing in more on this trend than Alliance Data Systems. Here to talk about that is the company's CEO, Ed Heffernan. Welcome, Ed.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, your stock is up over 22% in the past year. It's had a tremendous run over the past decade. What's driving it?
Basically, I think you have two secular trends that are going on. One is the migration away from cash and checks towards electronic payments, for sure. And then the second trend that's out there is the migration away from general spend on advertising and more spend on very sophisticated targeted marketing. And both of those we benefit from.
Well, how do you bring it all together? And how do you compete against the likes of Visa and MasterCard? Are you competitors, friendly competitors, somewhat different? Where are you? We're
somewhat different. We do a lot of the same things, but what we have on top of it is the marketing hat. So what we'll essentially do is our job is to extract information from your transactions at a various retailer, sprinkle some special sauce on it called demographic and psychographic information, and then that gives me a pretty good picture of who you are. I then take that information and put you into a segment, and that segment then must go out through a channel, whether it's direct mail or point of sale or permission-based email, mobile, social display, whatever it may be. The best way to communicate with you, whether it's a communication to say, hi, how you doing, Greg, or whether it's some type of promotional activity on behalf of the client. That's what we do, whereas a Visa MasterCard really is focused more on transaction volume. We want transaction volume, but we want to use it for the benefit of targeted marketing.
And using me as an example, how am I doing? As a consumer, am I spending? What's the retail climate like right now?
You're doing fine, so good for you.
Okay. And what about the nation as a whole? Are they spending as well?
The nation as a whole, we have a pretty good view on roughly 26 million active folks who we can see their spending history and whether they're paying off. We also have a broad view of 220 million people across North America. The bottom line is it looks like in the United States that things are going pretty well for the consumer. The spend is solid. The consumer from a leverage perspective is not overdoing it. It looks like they're spending, but at the same time their payments each month are suggesting that they're trying to keep things under control. So that's good news. What we're seeing in Canada is a little bit different. We're seeing a little bit of weakness up there, which would suggest that they never went through the housing bubble, and hopefully it's more of a housing sort of as it goes out rather than a boom. But those are the two differences.
It's interesting. I thought they were the conservative folks up there in Canada.
They used to be, and no more. Now they're pretty much maxed out. So they're going through pretty much what we went through a few years ago.
Sorry about that for them. And what about in terms of mobile? You mentioned it at the top. What do you do on the mobile score? Because right now, more people are whipping out their cell phones to pay for things as opposed to their cards.
Yes, they are whipping out their cell phones for sure, and what they're doing is a number of different things. For example, you could be walking in the mall, and the latest trend is what's called this geo-fencing, and we've been doing some of that over the past holidays, which is as soon as you break this invisible barrier and you walk into the mall, if you've given permission, you could get a very targeted message from your favorite retailer, whether it's Victoria's Secret, Pottery Barn, J. Crew, Crate and Barrel, whatever that may be, and that could encourage you to frequent the store that's 20 yards down and off to your right. So that's one thing called geofencing. You also have other things such as virtual cards, where people are no longer walking around with their purse full of loyalty cards and credit cards. It's all being collapsed into the wallet on the phone. You go in, you tap, you go, and that's that. And the final thing would be SMS and MMS, where you're getting text messages that are designed strictly for you and hopefully are relevant to you. So the whole experience of retail is in fact migrating away from all these other channels and towards a mobile experience.
And it all sounds like it's good news for ADS. Thanks for coming on, Ed.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you for watching The Street.